Hi there, it's Anthony Chu from Mobb. Today I want to give you a glimpse of a new integration we've added to the Mobb solution, namely the support for Azure Repo. So as you know, for Mobb to run a fix analysis, there needs to be two main ingredients. One, it is the static analysis report, and second is the copy of your source code. Now you can always upload your source code via the manual upload zip functionality, but this particular integration allows Mobb to automatically grab the source code from your Azure repo, and once the fix is generated, be able to commit the fix code back into your Azure repo, just how we can also do the same for GitHub repository and the GitLab repo as well. So really it helps with time saving and efficiency as well, right? So let's go ahead with the demo. So the first thing I want to point out is that we often announce these new additions via the What's New page that you can see here under our Mobb documentation site. So any new releases such as the support for Azure Repo, as well as new stable fixes can be found here. So make sure you visit this page often to find out what's new with Mobb. Link will be in the video description below. All right, let's get started with our demonstration here. So I'm going to start with my sample repository here under my Azure DevOps organization. So the workflow that we're going to be going through is one that many of you may have seen before, which is to basically replicate the workflow that developers typically go through, which is to generate a pull request based on some feature changes or patches that they're trying to apply to their source code. In this case, I have a deliberate SQL injection issue in my source code, and that is going to be the use case that we're going to be looking at here. I will give my branch a name, feature 13, and I will make sure to create a pull request as well. Now you can see that under the checks here, we can see that there is a static analysis with mob autofix step that is now running. And if we were to click into this link here, it actually takes us now to the pipeline view, which runs the job that is associated to the pull request that was created, right? So we'll give this some time to run, but in the meantime, I want to show you what exactly this pipeline job is now doing by looking at the YAML, which contains the configuration for this particular pipeline. Okay, so this YAML will be shared via the repository, which is public, and I'll make sure to include the link to this repository down in the video description as well, so you can also look at this YAML in more detail if you want. But basically what we're doing here is that we are running a checkmarks static analysis scan. You can see that we're doing some preparation steps for checkmarks, and then we're running the checkmark scan in the next step here. And also at the bottom, we're running the mob CLI in the last step here to basically consume the report that checkmarks has produced during its analysis, right? We also have another step here that basically pushes the mob link into the pull request comments page, just for ease of use, ease of access for developers when they're working with their pull request. So let's go back to our pipeline. In fact, let's go to the library section of the pipeline view. I also want to show you that in order for us to make this integration work, we have to include the necessary variables, which includes the ones that's needed for checkmarks that you can see here, the tokens, the URIs, as well as the mob API key that needs to be included in order to perform the mob step that we saw earlier as well. The steps here are again, described in this repository under the README section, so you can take a look at that to see how to find these variables, these secrets, and also make sure you include them if you're trying to do this integration. Two other quick items I also want to cover for this particular integration is that if you go under your project settings, under repository, and if you go to your policy section here, what I have done here is I have enabled branch policies against all branches, denoted by the asterisk here. And if you look at the build validation section here, I have the pipeline associated to this branch policy. Basically, we want this job to run every time there's a pull request, right? So that's what is being described here. So I would definitely recommend you to do the same to enable build validation for your branches if you want to replicate this particular integration. Also, under the pipeline view, under settings, I have also disabled the imply YAML CI trigger. Basically, by turning this on, I disable the default behavior for pipeline to run on every pushes. This is because I only want the pipeline to run on pull requests, right? Not on every pushes. And that is what I have defined in the YAML. So basically by turning this on, it will respect the trigger that matches the triggers that I have defined in the YAML, which is to run on every pull request. Okay, so let's go back to our pipeline. We want to see where it's at, if it has completed. So this was the latest one. Yeah, that's the one that has completed. So we can see the job has now entered into a fail build status. If we look at the job section here, we can see that the under the checkmark scan, this job has now completed with a fail build status, and the mob autofixer step has now run by basically consuming the report generated by checkmarks and produce the fixed analysis report for us to use. But we want to, go through the developer experience here, right? So let's go through the pull request section and just go back to the pull request view. And for the developer, they don't have to exit out of the pull request. They can actually access the mob autofix link directly within the pull request. And this is because we add the link for mob underneath the comment section here. Okay, so by clicking on this link, it will take the developer to the mob user interface. And this is the fix page for this particular issue that Checkmarks has found, right? So the SQL injection is now being presented here. We can see that it is ready for us to apply the fix. So let's go through that workflow. And some of you may have seen this before if you've played around with Mob, but basically in the fix page here, Mob is proposing what to change in order to address the fix. And if we're all satisfied with the changes here or with the fix here, let's go ahead and commit the fix. The target branch is going to be the feature branch that we were working on earlier. So let's go ahead and commit the changes. And Mob will automatically create a new pull request based on these settings for us. And that's what we're seeing here, right? So Mob has helped us create this new pull request to basically merge the branch that contains the fix into the feature branch. At the same time, we can see the same pipeline job is now running again, basically to run through the same workflow. And this is by design, right? We want to leverage the static analysis tool to verify that the fixes that Mob is proposing are indeed good and that there is no more issues being identified by the SAS tool. All right, so it looks like the pipeline job is now complete, and we can see now this time the job has passed. It has succeeded without any further issues, indicating to us that the checkmarks static analysis scan returned with no additional issues that we need to address for this particular configuration, and we can go ahead and complete the merge of this pull request. So I hope this was helpful in terms of demonstrating how Mob can easily integrate within your Azure environment now, right? So basically from Azure Repo to running Mob within the Azure pipeline. And once the fix is created, we can commit the fix code back into your Azure Repo. Really helps with efficiencies and speed up the whole process of checking for issues and also fixing the issues found by your static analysis tool. All right, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Mob. I hope you have a nice day.